Declan Edwards, welcome to Perth.
Mate, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let's start on how we met. How did we meet?
Man, we connected, I want to say, close to 2 years ago, maybe 18 months ago now.
Yeah, 18
definitely been
months
over
ago.
a year.
Yeah.
Through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The great connector, the place that I once thought was just filled with people in their 50s who were, desperate to climb the corporate ladder. Then I've been meeting good people like you through it. It's crazy.
And here we are, 18 months later, sitting down at Curtin Uni in a lecture theatre.
Yes.
I would have never guessed this. That is insane.
No, mate, neither would I, to be honest. So,
All the way from the other side of Australia.
Yes, yeah, worked out really well. We obviously connected and got chatting on the podcast, and when I was planning to come across to Perth to visit family as well as to run a pop-up guest lecture at Curtin University on the skills and science of happiness, I went, right, who's my short list of people that I know are in Perth that I want to catch up and connect with? And of course you were there.
Hell yeah, man. I'm so excited that we could make this happen. Declan, there's 3 cards on this desk.
This is
right
the surprise.
Now. This is the surprise. So each card has a deep question on it. Okay. I don't know what these questions are, but we're both going to choose one and we both answer it. Each other's questions.
Can do.
You go first.
I'm going to go the middle one. Door number 2.
I got door number 1.
Okay.
Whew. Wow.
Hit me with
This is good. What's a side of you that you only show to people you're close with? That's deep because I feel like we mask up in different situations.
Yeah, I think the people closest to me, be it people on the team at having college, be it my wife, be it my closest family, see an impatience in me that other people don't see. I think a lot of people...
Wow.
I was even talking to someone recently who's become a recent friend, and he's like, man, I just see you as such a calm, grounded, down-to-earth, mindful guy. Like, you study happiness, you teach happiness, you're just this, like, Zen figure. And I was like, oh, yeah, not all the time. Not all the time. I think we were having a conversation just before we started recording, right, about how time goes, and time goes quickly and seems to be going quicker and quicker and quicker. And I think the trade-off from that is there's a lot that I want to do in my life, and there's a lot of legacy and impact that I want to leave. And so there's a side of me that becomes very impatient.
Where do you think that comes from?
I think it's the trade-off of hunger, right? To go like, hey, I've got this amount of time, hopefully, fingers crossed, a good 80 or 90 years, on this earth and in this life. And there's a lot that I want to do. I've not built my career around a small goal by any means. My career has been dedicated to how do we make the world as a whole a happier place, and how do we grow global happiness. And I think sometimes the weight and size of that pursuit weighs on me and makes me go, I'm running out of time. And I actually had a really nice reality check on this the other day. Growing up, I played basketball, so I used a lot of basketball analogies. But one of my good coaches and mentors was like, hey, you've been running the college now for 10 years. And I'm like, yep. And when we've not made the impact that I want us to make yet at all, we're nowhere near it. And he goes, okay, do you see yourself doing this work for the rest of your life? And I said, yeah, I do actually. I don't think I'll retire. I see myself doing this for decades to come. And he goes, okay, so you've basically ended quarter 1 of a basketball match. Like, you're 10 years into a 40-year career. You've played 1 quarter, dude. You can't complain about not winning the game yet. And I was like, yeah, shoot. He goes, you got 3 quarters left. Like, think about what you've done in quarter 1. And so that was such a good perspective for me because I went, 10 years seems so long, right? I'm like, when you ask people, what do you want to achieve in 10 years? We set really big, lofty goals because we think 10 years takes forever. 10 years goes like that, right? And so to remind myself, I'm like, I've got 30, 40 years of doing this ahead of me.
Wow.
I've got time. And that's something I need to be reminded of a lot.
How come you often forget this?
I think myself, like anyone else, has a little bit of instant gratification desire. We live in a world that is you can get things quickly, right? Like, it wasn't that long ago that if I wanted to know the answer to something, I couldn't Google it. I had to go to the library, check out a book, look through the book and see if it had the answer. Now I can ask ChatGPT immediately, right? And so, like, the speed of society has moved faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And I think sometimes I feel myself getting sucked into that of like, I need to move faster and faster and faster. But really, the best decisions I've made in my life, the best impact I've made in my life has come from the moments where I haven't gone faster, where I've slowed down, where I've reminded myself to be patient, where I've taken my time. But back to the original question, that's not something that's there all the time.
I love that.
There's definitely an impatience in me.
Because I can relate heavily with that. It's like, as you were saying, you have these big goals and you're like, I just want to hit it. You're like grinding every night, waking up early, going to bed late, just on that constant grind. But how often do you just pause?
Exactly.
And think about how far you've come.
You know, I put it to one of our clients that I find sometimes when I do coaching sessions, I'm learning just as much as the person that I'm coaching because they're pulling thoughts and ideas out of me that I wouldn't have otherwise. And we were having a similar conversation to this with one of my clients. And I remember saying to him, I'm like, hey, why are you in such a rush to get through life when the finish line is death? And I went, there's nothing waiting for you at the end but death. So why are we speeding to get there? Why are we so quick? And he went, oh yeah. Like, why wouldn't I slow down and smell the roses a little bit? Why wouldn't I slow down and enjoy life a little bit more? Why am I rushing through each day, each week, each meeting, each month, thinking that the next thing is going to be the thing that makes me feel successful and happy?
Holy shit, yes,
right?
Exactly.
All you're doing is running quicker towards death. That's it.
Then why do you feel we do this as humans now?
Again, I think society is speeding up, but also I do believe human beings have this inbuilt desire for progress. We don't like feeling
behind,
yes. Or even stagnant and stable. Like, I think there's something inside of us that goes, I want to see something move forward. And moving forward is you get to define what that looks like for you. You get to decide what success and growth is. But I do think we all have a desire in us. Human beings have this desire to grow and to progress and feel like we're moving forward in life. And sometimes we forget that it's beneficial to also pump the brakes a little bit sometimes and slow down. I'm curious about you, though. You said we're both going to answer the question. What's a side of yourself that...
A year ago, I did a podcast with Emma Gibbons.
Okay.
And she asked me a question. And the question was, how do you play?
Yeah.
As an adult, I had to think about that. Because as you get older, you seem to put on a professional mask to be someone. Yeah, you're putting a mask to be that person. Mm-hmm. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately. It's like, how do I play? It's the side of me which not many people see. So that's me in the car on the way here. Oh, what song was I listening to? Damn, it was Rihanna. Please don't start the music.
Oh, yeah, classic.
Fantastic.
Classic.
And I was like, windows down, arm out the window, chilling, one hand on the steering wheel, like vibing. Like, man, it was...
Man, that is a song that stood the test of time. 'Cause there's over 10 years between us, and that is the song I was jamming to on my way to uni. Right? The fact that 10 years later, you're on your way to Curtin University for a lecture tonight, and,
Yeah, I guess that's a side that not many people see online, and it's... Like, when I've met people with having a personal brand, it's like... Whoa, I don't see this online.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bit of a reality check there on what is the authentic self right now. Yeah. Different sides.
There's a lot to be said about play for playfulness' sake.
Yeah.
Like, play for no goal or outcome or benefit other than just having a good time.
Exactly.
You're allowed to just enjoy life. Crazy that, right? You're allowed to just experience joy.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's really cool.
Yeah, I just thought that was really interesting, like how, at what point... in our life, do we seem to be drawn into this ideology of who we're meant to become? It's been on my mind. What are your thoughts? Have you experienced anything like that?
I definitely, especially because similar to you, I started my business, BU Happiness College, when I was quite young. And I remember at the time thinking I had to be this really buttoned up, serious guy to be taken seriously.
Exactly.
Right? I was like, well, if I want to be taken seriously,
especially
I have
age
to be
22,
serious. Right?
Yes.
And, I need to have the suit and all that sort of stuff. And... since then, so there's a great test, which I recommend everyone does. If you haven't done already, definitely do so. The VIA character strengths test. So it's a positive psychology test, takes 25 minutes, it's free to do. And it tells you your top 5 strengths, things that you do uniquely well. Like qualities that you have that are you at your best self, essentially. And there's all this research that shows when people know their strengths and they use them, they tend to feel more fulfilled in relationships, they tend to perform better at work, they tend to feel more true to themselves and more confident in themselves. Like, there's all these benefits that come from, I'm going to play my best cards. I'm going to put my best foot forward. And when I did that test for the first time, I was early 20s, and one of my top character strengths was humor, and like being lighthearted and playful and and bringing fun and levity to things that are very serious topics. And now I think that's something that's helped me a lot in my career. Is I talk a lot about mental health and very serious topics. But I try to do it in a way that I'm like, hey, we deserve to have fun whilst we talk about this. Like, we can laugh and we can crack a joke and we can enjoy learning because then we actually learn. If it's so serious all the time and so taboo, then no one takes anything in. Right? And I think that shifted for me was to like, hey, I don't have to be serious all the time to be taken seriously.
We were literally talking about it out there when we were like, the humanized aspects of ourselves are now being valued.
Massively
because...
so.
AI is so perfect.
Exactly.
And who are we to live up to that? It's
Exactly.
like an unreasonable bar.
Yes. Yeah, I like the messiness of being a human, and I think it's being more and more valued.
The personal stories.
Yeah.
Next question.
Let's do it,
I'm
man.
excited
Let's do
for
it.
this.
What's one of the best compliments you've ever received?
That's good, because I was seeing this thing that statistically males get less compliments. And I don't know why.
I think sometimes there's a difficulty there in accepting compliments too, right? It's very easy to brush them off. Someone's like, hey, I see this, and you're like, oh, yeah, nice. You know, but you look at your, like, we immediately compliment back, and it's like, no, you can just accept a compliment. You can just receive it.
Yeah, I remember this guy. I was working at a cafe called The Roastery, and I had these brown leather Converses on. And the guy goes, man, I fucking love those shoes. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Like, I just felt lightened up. That was a prime moment of a compliment. How about yourself? Yeah. A man that can pull off green. He's the man.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I read it, one came to mind to me. Shout out to one of our graduates from BU Happiness College, Annalise McCarthy. A few years ago, she said to me, hey, I just want to let you know that no matter where I interact with you or what the context is, you're the same guy. And I went, what do you mean by that? And she goes, well, whether we're catching up as friends, whether we're in a coaching session, whether I'm seeing you speak on a podcast, whether I'm seeing you speak in a room full of people, no matter the setting you're in, you're so true to who you are. There's consistency to your character. And that's the greatest compliment I've ever received, because for many years that wasn't the case. For many years I was a human chameleon. I'd change who I was to meet what I thought other people expected of me. I was stuck in people-pleasing and perfectionism and trying to be the best by everyone else's standards. And in doing so, not being myself. And so years after that, to have someone recognize that and unprompted be like, yeah, you're the same guy everywhere. Like, you're Declan. You're so true to your values, your strengths, to what you believe in, what you stand for. There's this real consistency in who you are. I was like, that... I mean, even now, like, sharing
gives
that...
you
like,
shivers.
Yeah, I get shivers for it. It is probably not only one of the greatest compliments I've ever received, but one of the things I'm most deeply proud of. Is that, you know, I'm a father now. My son is going to grow up getting to know the true me and the real authentic me. My wife gets to know the real me, and my team and my clients and the people that I serve. They're not getting a falsified or forced version of me anymore. They're getting to know the real Declan.
Wow. I definitely feel nowadays that is becoming more important, and it's becoming harder because there's a lot of expectations, especially what I found growing up as a young male and young man now. You're being influenced by so many different aspects.
Yep, there's a lot of noise out there.
How do you go about steering from the mission you've been told and your actual inside mission, if that makes sense? Yeah,
it does. I think the key skill there, so I talk a lot about the skills of happiness, right? Like, that's what I've dedicated my career and research to, is understanding happiness as a skill set. One of the five most important skills of happiness. I was asked to do this recently because I've got a book coming out this year.
Amen to that.
How to be happy. And I realized very quickly that I cannot fit in our curriculum at BU Happiness College. We teach 75 distinct skills of happiness. We're going to be sharing them tonight at the guest lecture that I'm giving. 75, a lot, right?
Like skills to one word.
Specific skills that tend to correlate with happiness.
Oh my God.
That's a lot to learn, right? And there's no way I can fit all of them in a book. And so my publisher said, if you could only teach 5, what 5 would you teach? What are the most important? And one of them that I landed on was introspection. The skill of looking inwards for your answers rather than outwards. Right? So most people will go through life looking externally for their answers. What do my parents expect of me? What does society expect of me? What does my boss think is a good idea? We're looking for these role models to tell us who we are out here in the noise of the world. And we get that through advertising. Advertising says, well, if you just buy this or do this, then you'll be a happy person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so we get all these messages. And we're losing the skill and the practice of looking inwards and hearing, whether you want to call it your soul, your gut instinct, your intuition, God, whatever word feels right in your context. Hearing that whisper inside of you, that nudge that goes, hey, this is the right path for you. There's a great philosophy that I believe in, that fear yells where intuition whispers.
Fear yells where intuition whispers.
So the voice of fear is loud. right? Our insecurities, our worries, our doubts, our concerns, what might go wrong, very loud.
100% agree.
The intuition, that gut instinct that goes, hey, this is the path for you, follow it, trust it, it whispers. And so we've got to tune in to hear it. We've got to look inwards. So whether that be through, how we practice introspection, because introspection is the skill, but what's the tool? Meditation, mindfulness, journaling, coaching-led conversations, anything that leads you to think about yourself, like a good self-help book or a podcast like this, where you go, I didn't just learn something, I'm actually thinking about me in my life now. Like I'm looking inwards and thinking about how that resonates with me. These are all ways to practice introspection.
I love that, but I don't want this to be some cliche answer, but if I'm listening to this right now, I've taken this in, what do I do now? Yes, you've mentioned meditation, journaling, and we have spoken about that in the previous podcast, which will be linked in the show notes.
Yep.
But is it meant to just all align?
No.
Like, it just happen?
You just practice it. And like any skill, you're going to be shit at it first. Right? Like, that's the point.
You need patience.
When you learn a skill, you're going to suck.
Yeah.
Right? You know, people who I meet who are like, actually, there's a great Buddhist philosophy that, something along the lines of, someone said to the Buddha once, I've tried meditation, it didn't work for me. What should I do? And the Buddha turned around and said, well, in our beliefs and in our teachings, there are 40,000 different forms of meditation. So I would advise you try one of the other 39,999. Right? I think, there's this impatience. We go, well, I've tried it, it didn't work. I'm like, you tried it once. If I tried to speak French once, I can't then go around saying, oh, no, I can't speak French, can't learn it. Right? No, because I tried it once, right? You got to practice.
But you can speak French.
Right? For a little bit. So you got to practice. You got to keep going, right? And I think that's the mistake people make with those intrinsic skill sets that lead to happiness. We think we either have them or we don't. No, you just haven't practiced them enough, right? So if people go, hey, from this, I'm going to practice meditation, or I'm going to practice journaling, or I'm going to practice every podcast you listen to, don't just listen to the podcast passively and leave it. Listen to the podcast and afterwards pull out a notes app on your phone and go, what resonated with me from that? What did I need to hear? That is an introspective act, right? That is a practice of looking inwards. And so if people do that more and more and more, they'll get to know themselves better.
That's deep. Do you practice this daily then? Meditation, journaling, or is it something
I'd be lying if I said it was 100% daily. I aim for it to be daily. My benchmark for success on any skill I want to practice is 80%.
80%.
So if 5 or 6 days out of 7 in a week I do it, that's a good sign. Some form of checking in with myself, some form of introspective practice, even just checking in the sense of, how am I feeling today? What's going on for me lately? How am I actually feeling? Because I think it's so easy to wake up and go, what do I need to do today? Not how do I feel? Right? And what I need to do is external. It's a checklist. What do I feel is internal. So that's an introspective difference. Right? And so sometimes it's as simple as, hey, how am I feeling lately? What's going on for me? Sometimes it's full journaling. Sometimes it's meditation. There's all these different ways to practice it.
Has there ever been a time where you've asked yourself this question and you're like, it wasn't the answer you were expecting?
Plenty of times. And plenty of times where I introspect and I don't get an answer. I think if people introspect and put pressure on their brain or on their self or their gut instinct or intuition, soul, God, whatever you want to call it, right, as we said before, and you go, right, give me the answer to all my problems, right? I clam up if someone says that to me. That's scary. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I think we need to do introspection with a sense of openness and curiosity, not with a sense of expectation. If we go in expecting mind-blowing breakthroughs and light bulb moments, you're probably not going to get them. If you're going curious and open, you'll be surprised what you find. And so, these are ways that I've learned more about myself. I've learned what I care about, what my passions are, what my strengths are, what my values are, is all through being curious with my introspective practice.
Introspective, that's that word. Okay, I feel like this is something I really need to work on. So
highly recommend
everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
So I reckon, definitely I'm going to reflect on this.
It's a good skill. It's a great skill.
Cautious on time.
Yes, we've got people showing up soon.
We do have people. We're people watching this. We are in a lecture
theatre hall.
But to wrap up this super short podcast, which, man, in 19 minutes and 50 seconds now, I've gone bloody a lot, man.
I'm glad.
This is really cool.
I try to give as much as I can in the time that we have together.
If younger Declan was listening to this, 19, just starting that coaching course, listening to your voice right now, what would younger Declan want you to say?
I think he'd just want reassurance that he does end up figuring out who he is. Because it's pretty exhausting trying to be what you think everyone else wants you to be. right? Like I was very tired throughout my teens and early 20s from being the people pleaser, the perfectionist, the high achiever by everyone else's standards, and not knowing who I was, not practicing introspection, not knowing my values and strengths, not doing a lot of the stuff that we spoke about today, just because I hadn't learned it yet. I didn't even know that was a skill that you could learn when I was in my late teens and early 20s. And so I think you just want reassurance that like, hey, it's going to take work. It's not going to come easily, but you will figure out who you are and you will build the confidence to bring that version of yourself to your relationships, to your work, to your communities, and to the world as a whole. And not only will it be accepted, it will be appreciated.
Do you think younger Declan, what would you tell younger Declan? Would you want younger Declan to figure out that it will work out as quick as it did, or would you want it to be quicker to get to the situation you're in now?
I'd probably tell him the same thing that I think me in 10 years will tell me now. So me talking to Declan in his late teens, I'd say be patient. It's going to take longer than you think.
Yeah.
I'm predicting if we have this conversation in 10 more years' time, I'll probably be telling me now, be patient. It's going to take longer than you think.
We're going to have this conversation 10 years from now and see where this ends up.
That's my prediction. My prediction is in 2036, I will still be telling myself to be patient. Life takes its time.
Where do you think you'll be in 10 years?
I'm not sure. And I think that's the beautiful part of it now. Like my vision for life has changed so much since becoming a dad. My definition of success has evolved since becoming a dad. I realized the other day that a lot of what I once dreamt for, I currently live. Like I work very meaningful work that I care about and love.
Yeah.
I work about 3.5 days a week, so I have a lot of free time with my family. I do things that matter to me. I play basketball with good friends. I look after my health. Like my life is very whole at the moment. It feels very fulfilling, which is a nice place to be in. It's the first time in my life I could honestly say that if life looked very similar to this in 10 years, I think I'd still be really happy. But what I said before about humans having a need for progress and growth, you know, I would be very happy, but the goal is also to continue expanding the work we do and helping more and more people learn how to master and understand the skills and science of happiness so that they can live a happier life and they can get to know their true selves and they get to play their part in making the world as a whole just a little bit happier, which you're doing through this podcast. So thank you for the work that you do.
Declan Edwards, I'm so happy that we could tee this up in Perth. Unreal. Wishing you a safe travel back and enjoy Rottnest tomorrow.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Declan.
Awesome. Ta.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your guest, Declan Edwards. All of his resources are in the show notes below. Check him out. Check out the BU Happiness College. Incredible work he's doing. He's incredibly inspiring and his story is incredible. I'll catch you on the next one. Declan, thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.